another episode of the 365 Business Central. So my name is Guillaume Rocher. I'm an analyst with proposons, and as always, I'm joined with the lovely Taruna.
Hi everyone, Taruna here. So I'm from the Microsoft team. I'm actually the SMB Business Application Solutions Lead at Microsoft Canada, and welcome to this webinar series. So if this is actually your first time watching this video, I would recommend that you go see our season trailer, in which you'll understand what the outline is, what's the intention of these videos. We're basically taking very typical personas in a manufacturing company and showing what their day-to-day life with Business Central can actually look like. And so last episode, which was episode 3, part 2, we talked about the manufacturing processes and what would be required. And I'm laughing because we actually had a pretty good analogy that I need to share back with you, in which we were talking about making a vegetable soup. And so if you're curious to understand how a vegetable soup relates to your manufacturing facility, I would strongly suggest that you go back to that episode. And then today we're going to be walking you through what you can do around project and service management with Business Central. And so ProBark, as you probably know by now, is a manufacturing company, but they don't actually only sell furniture. They also offer packages in which they can actually choose to install a venue for a customer. For instance, a customer that's having a conference may need some furniture needs, and so ProBark is there to actually be able to support those, those project needs. And so today, ProBark is dealing with one of those projects, and they're looking into installing a whole new, setting up a whole new venue for a large conference. To do this, we have Steve, who's basically the project manager for this event, and he'll be using all of the different cool tools within Business Central to oversee the budget and the planning of this conference. And so first off, Steve is able to use Timesheet, which can help him keep track of all of the machines as well as all of the hours that employees have been spending on this project, and then configure and monitor the jobs required and the tasks required to put up such a venue. So let's double click into these features.
And these features are really going to help any sort of project management. So there's quite some flexibility. So in the first picture, one of the most important things is the job card. So the job card is going to determine what does this project look like, So, who's the customer, who are we going to be billing? So if you have a different billable number, who's the contact, all these different things. You're also going to be able to assign a project manager and all the different tasks. So, what the job task type is, the start date, the end date, what your budget is, so you can track your budget there, and you're really going to have a whole vision of this job, right? But there's more, of course, the timesheet, as you mentioned, Taruna, as well as a resource module, so you can see, all your different resources, whether that's machine or people, what's the profit calculation that you want to set up, what's their cost, what's their price, the per unit, all these different kind of things that you're going to be able to set up. And of course, when you're going to be able to configure job tasks, you're going to have a whole menu that you're going to be able to set up. So very detailed, specific. So all the different steps. So that way you're going to be able to know exactly how you're on track on your project, where you are you on budget, out of budget, who has worked how many hours. So this is just going to be a really solid tool overall to manage these projects like these venue installations.
And so I don't know if you guys have organized events and conferences, but something does end up going wrong, whether it's a piece of furniture that's no longer standing that should be there, or something else. And so Steve is able to actually not only keep track of all of that, all of the repairs that are required, but also make sure that they have the parts and the supplies needed to be able to complete those. And so through service task, Steve will be able to get kind of an overview of all of the service items that require his attention. And this is basically the power of Business Central over and over again. It's that you have all of that data sitting in one single source of truth or one database. And it allows you to be able to give you that end-to-end perspective of your business so that you can then complete these, I guess, service requests that are coming in. So in this case, Steve has this kind of service dashboard that he can see and understand what's pending, what are the parts that are required, and then what does the inventory look like? Because once again, everything's connected.
Absolutely, Taruna. And if you've been at a conference where the chair is a bit wobbly or somebody has been flipping too many tables, you're going to need repairs. And this is where these features come in, right? So you're going to be able to handle service orders where you're going to decide, when is the response time due? Are we talking 24 hours, a week? What's the priority? Of course, the status of this repair. And it can be anything from service, right? It can be an evaluation, can be a repair. It's up to you to configure that and really replicate your business processes. So it's, again, a very flexible tool. And inside the task, you're going to be able to track all of this to item numbers, so specific item numbers, whether they have an identifier, everything that's related to warranty. Really a lot of cool features there. And as you mentioned, Taruna, the information is flowing across your whole business. So you're going to be able to link back, of course, the timesheets of your service crew. You're going to be able to track back all the inventory usage. So if you're switching a part or you're replacing a product or you're reimbursing that product due to a warranty, all the information flows throughout the business. So this is going to be super useful if anybody's working in service. And in this next slide, you can see every detail inside a service order. So for example, here, an example of a repair, and you're going to be able to link that, of course, to a contract number. So if you're working with contracts, you're going to be able to track the statuses as mentioned, and all the type of allocation. So allocating hours, the starting date, starting time, finishing date, really a lot of parameters that you can configure. So these overall are going to be really useful features in terms of service management.
And so Steve may actually also need to work with customers via a contract because ProBark is providing the service. And so um, Steve has the ability to understand what are the contracts that are available. And there's also templates for these contracts so that he's not out there doing redundant data entry. There's actually templates that you can leverage that he can customize to rapidly adapt to the customer's projects and needs. And then what's also interesting with this is that you are also notified as to which contracts are soon to be expired and that are coming up for renewal so that Steve can then focus on going through the renewal process if it may have fallen through the cracks. And so once again, because your data is sitting in one single source of truth, you're able to get all of that information out of Business Central, keep track of your business, and also remove a lot of kind of redundant work and processes from your employees' plate, and let them focus on something that's going to be yielding more impact for your business.
And these contract templates are, of course, very useful when you're setting up a new client. You can determine what type of contract you want. So, the service period, are you updating your price? When, what's their maximum price that they're going to pay for labor, right? Things like how often are you invoicing them? Is it monthly? Is it quarterly? Is it biweekly? So you can really have all this flexibility, of course, in a template. So you can quickly create the service contract that your customer expects. And this is very important in terms of being, very proactive and being able to answer, customer requests very quickly instead of having to do all this redundant work that you mentioned, Taruna. So this really accelerates your whole cycle, your business cycle with your customers, and it can be really key in winning some opportunities. Furthermore, if you look at more in depth at the service contract, you can have all the details for line items. So, what are you entitled to for example, for every service item? So, how many units, what are the serial numbers, how much did it cost? Are we giving them a discount? If you're using responsibility centers, is it the West unit that's taking care of that or is it the East unit? So all these kind of things you can do. And of course, as always, in Business Central, make sure you check out that ribbon bar. There's so many things. You can lock the contract, you can sign the contract. You want to copy it? Done. You want to create a service invoice straight out of your contract so that it's noted there? that can be done too. So there's so many rich features inside the ribbon in Business Central. Doesn't matter where you are, make sure you check out those ribbon features.
Business Central, I've said this numerous time, is really there to help your business get the information needed at the time you need it, but also help you ensure that you're actually maybe a step or two step ahead of what you would have been otherwise. And the way that we do this is through information flow. You have access to all of your information because it is residing in that one database. And so I remember actually a lot of customers, maybe 5, 6 years ago, were actually asking for a kind of the best app for every single need that their business would have. But then this created a pretty hard IT environment to manage, in which customers were now managing 10, 12 customized apps to be able to do kind of the work that they need to do. This obviously created a lot of data that's sitting in silos, and a lot of manual processes where employees need to copy paste from one data source to the other. And so with Business Central, we're really there to kind of break down all of those barriers so that you're able to do your business much more proactively than being a little bit more on the reactive side. And then if you need to change and evolve your strategy, that you have something that's flexible enough that is actually growing with your company. And so this is truly the power of Business Central. It's that it's a single source of truth, and it connects extremely well with any application, especially with any of your Office 365 applications, whether it's Outlook that you're using and that you want to funnel through information, or SharePoint, or even OneDrive. There's Power BI for reporting. There's just so much that you can do. You can obviously connect with Microsoft applications, but you can also connect fairly easily with external applications as well if needed. And so there's just infinite opportunity right there. So to truly be able to grow your business.
And of course, when we're talking about these infinite possibilities, one of the things I love the most is really, the app source on Microsoft. I'm a big fan of that. So, Taruna, can you tell me more about this feature, please?
Absolutely. So, Appsource, this is truly a place where you can find ways to extend your current product. So, a lot of businesses actually have built on top of Dynamics 365 and Business Central specifically. And so, for instance, if you need something around 3PL, or anything else that is not available out of the box, you can then look into Appsource to be able to get. To be able to expand your solution. There's also other Dynamics 365 products that you can look into. And so when Steve is actually taking care of this project, he may or ProBark may have more complex projects that are in the coming up in the horizon. And for that, they may need a more robust solution. And so for that, we have project operations, which you can extend into through Business Central. If you have a bit more of a complex logistics I guess, scenario. You can also look into supply chain management. If you have a different sales strategy, we have Dynamics 365 for sales. There's also marketing. There's a lot of different apps out there, and there are other apps that are also considered Dynamics 365 that you can expand upon to meet your business needs.
And we understand that sometimes, it can be a bit overwhelming having so many choices, so many possibilities, and so many features at your disposal, right? So right now, Groupe Azure is offering this promotion of being able to participate in a free 1 to 3 hour workshop where we help you determine which modules would best be fitted for your business objectives. So which applications would really help you reach those business goals, right? So we're going to be able to walk you through all of that with our ERP specialists. We're going to identify how your organization is currently using their ERP or their CRM, and how we can move to Business Central or another Dynamics app and really help you take your business to the next level. So if you have any questions, make sure that you check out our free consultation in the Appsource, and we'll be happy to discuss with you what the next steps could be or what Microsoft Dynamics could do for your business.
And then just be sure to subscribe to this channel so that you can be notified of future episodes. In the next episode, we will take the persona of someone in finance and in accounting and how Business Central can really kind of help those types of roles. So stay tuned, subscribe, and then let us know what you thought about this episode. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for joining us. And Taruna, as always a pleasure recording with you.
Thanks.